Last year, unions in the country made their voices known as many of them threatened industrial action and applied for strike certificates due to various pressing concerns. Well, at this point, both the Bahamas Nurses Union, the BNU, and the Bahamas Union of Teachers, BUT, hold their trump cards in the form of their strike certificates. But Labor Minister NewsJan4th says he is confident their disputes will be settled.
So with respect to the Nurses Union, the Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, and the PHA board, they are in constant discussions with the President and her executive. The last report that I received from Dr. Sands, which was yesterday, is that significant progress is being made. And as Minister of Labor, I am confident that we'll be able to settle their dispute.
On Wednesday, BUT President Belinda Wilson said teachers at the C.H. Reeves Junior High School are prepared to strike if conditions are not improved by Monday. However, the minister says he's hopeful their concerns will be fully addressed as well.
With respect to the teachers union, I did certify the strike vote for C.H. Reeves, and the president did a tour of C.H. Reeves the day before yesterday. And I have not heard back from her yet, but I am told by Minister Lloyd that all of the matters at C.H. Reeves, all of the physical matters in terms of the moral issues, the physical conditions, that they have been resolved. So I am very hopeful that beginning this new year, that those two matters will be settled expeditiously.
Now, Education Minister Jeffrey Lloyd said he has been advised that an assessment of the mold was conducted on Thursday, and the Ministry of Education expects to have those results today. Meantime, Bahamas Nurses Union President Amanja Williams telling our news team the union is hoping to meet with the Prime Minister sometime early this month. The government's commitment to reducing the country's level of unemployment has been strong. With a number of labor-on-the-block job fairs held throughout 2018, this year will be no different. Confirming as much to our news team was Minister Responsible NewsJan4th, who says since the initiative, hundreds of Bahamians are now employed.
We have, from a scientific point of view, getting information back from the various companies. Our last update was 1,200. Now, that was many months ago. Since then, for example, Fusion on the IMAX theater has opened. I understand the majority of the employees there came from the Labor on the Block event. And they have employed over 300 persons there. So I would say to be safe to give you an estimate. And this is only an estimate because we are not scientifically call all of the companies, that at the minimum 1,500 persons have been assisted.
The minister says since its inception, more companies have also come on board, making the initiative a huge success.
First one, we started off with about 8 or 9 companies. Our second and third ones, we had around about 12 companies. The last one that we had at the present, we had about 17 companies present. So I am very pleased with the cooperation from the business sector in terms of making on the block a massive success.
Well, if you haven't gotten a chance to attend one of the Labor on the Block job fairs, Minister Folk says the first for the year will be in February, catering to the Over the Hill community. This in conjunction with the PM's Over the Hill Rejuvenation Project. Meantime, the plan to relocate the General Post Office to Town Center Mall has been delayed once again. That according to the Minister Responsible Renwood Wells, who told a local daily that the new date is now slated for February. Well, former Minister Responsible for the Post Office, Glenys Hannah Martin, says this comes as no surprise, adding that the Minister administration had no regard for the workers when they stopped the previous administration's plan to give the General Post Office its own custom home in the old independent shopping center.
The point I'm making is that there was a plan, a considered one, by people who were thinking, people who preceded them. They then came, they stopped it, They came with some idea of Gladstone Road and wasted more than a year with nothing, nowhere. Those people were left to languish in those conditions without any solution. Then they come back, after a year, with another idea, which is the town center mall. And the minister has been giving timelines, which I suspected from day one were not realistic, because it's a fairly complex exercise to move from that one premises to the next. And so I'm not surprised that he's now lost 2 timelines, and he may lose a third, because he's continuing to put these bravado timelines on it, which are not being realized.
Now, Minister Wells said the cause for the delay was due to the government's inability to move the post office boxes. To that, Mrs. Hannah Martin had this response.
Truthfully, he ought to have been aware that he couldn't move the post boxes, because, truthfully, the post office is mostly about the post boxes. So to not know that, I would think that's probably 60 to 70% of the operations. And if he was not aware that that couldn't happen, then he was not properly briefed, or he didn't properly brief himself. It's unfortunate. They ought to have allowed what they met and trained to be completed, and it would have been a win-win for the Bahamian people. Instead, they've come with this huckle-up, sort of prolonged process, which took us down up and all the way up in Gladstone Road, now back at Town Center Mall.
Mrs. Hannah Martin says it seems as though the post office will not be moving from its East Hill location anytime soon. While Bahamas Postal Services Union President Kingsley Ferguson, also weighing in on the issue, told our news team that he only found out about the delay today through the media, adding that the union is concerned that as a partner they were not afforded a seat at the table to discuss the timeline with regards to the post office's relocation.
Initially, it was agreed that somewhere around the end of January that the post office would have moved. If there was adjustment in the time frame, we felt that we should have been invited to have a discussion with anything that would affect the membership of the Bahamas Public Service Union and employees of the public service. And so that was our concern. However, I did have a conversation with him this morning. He returned the call to me, and I expressed those sentiments, and he would have said to me that moving forward, he would make every effort to ensure that if there are any adjustments to anything, that he would inform us prior to making a public announcement.
The BPSU president adding that the union doesn't think the government is addressing this matter as urgently as it should be.
There are ramifications with regards to health issues. Persons are still challenged with respiratory issues in that environment, and in my opinion, I think they can do a little more. I would have thought that some temporary location would have been sought, and it was agreed that persons working in the general post office would go to the various substations, and the mail would have been taken to the various substations and been sorted. But I'm disappointed that the government is still allowing people to be in a mold-infested environment.
Regarding the delay being as a result of the failure to move post office boxes, Mr. Ferguson says that a proper assessment wasn't done on the issue.
That could have been determined initially if the proper assessment was done. Again, that was a delay that I had to find out. I had to find that out via the news media, and so again, it is what it is with regards to the delay at this time. But moving forward, we're hopeful that whatever dialogue takes place, the union will be privy to it.
The plans to lease 75,000 square feet of space at Town Center Mall for the concessionary rate of $12 per square foot or $900,000 a year. The owners will bear the $3.5 million cost of renovating the building. Now, calls were made to Transport Minister Ranwood Wells, but none were returned up to news time. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.